Welcome back, everybody. Got a fun one for you today. Got a little hidden feature inside surface noise inside Zbrush 2021 that hardly anybody really has touched on, and so I figured I'd explore it some more and see what I can come up with. Now, what we're seeing on the screen here today is these are all spheres from inside Zbrush, and it generated all this information inside the sphere using surface noise and Dynamesh. It's pretty cool little trick that ZBrush can do that they haven't really touched base on, so I figured, well, let's go ahead and explore it. You can make some pretty cool things with it, some abstract shapes, some stone work and stuff like that. So we're going to explore that today. Then I'm also going to show you another trick with using some of my greeble materials, and we'll make this guy here. So I'll show you another trick using surface noise and how to make this all nice and solid as opposed to just I'll explain it to you at the end, so just stick around to the end and I'll show you how to do this one. So for now, let's head into ZBrush and see what we got. Okay, so if you go over to my Gumroad page, you can download the example files here, as well as I've got some presets for surface noise that you can play with. And like I said, these all started out as spheres with a surface noise on it. So let's go ahead and start exploring here. So all you need to do is go over, grab a sphere, and we'll go ahead and make Polymesh 3D. I'm going to divide it up a couple times. I am going to delete the lower here, and I'm just using my custom UI, which you can also find over on Gumroad and QBrush. And so what we want to do is go into geometry here, and I'm going to crank up the resolution to 256. I recommend at least 256 to start with, and we're going to activate that there. So now it's a Dynamesh sphere. Now open up your surface and turn on noise, and go ahead and open, and we'll start with the spiral. Alright, spiral 001. Okay, and this is all included on that Gumroad page. And as you can see, it makes this spiral pattern on the outside of the sphere. So, but there's actually 3D information going into the sphere. So let's click OK, and I'm going to turn on double so we can see both sides of the normal. And zoom in a little bit here. So it doesn't look all that impressive yet. So instead of just working with your surface noise panel, just make sure it's active. Go under geometry and go down to this button right here, add. So make sure you hold down Alt, your Alt key, and then click add, and then watch the magic. Now that's pretty cool. So depending on your resolution of your Dynamesh, the better result you'll get. But in turn, the longer it'll take. So I'm going to go ahead and bump it up to 512. Okay, I don't think it's going to update until I do some sort of move around the vertex points a little bit. So I'm just going to do a quick smooth on it. Now I can update it. There you go. It's updated to even more points now. So go under geometry and hold down Alt and click add. And now this is a CPU process here, so it does take a little bit of time. So depending on your CPU, the longer it'll take. But as you can see, we've got a very cool abstract item here that took us no time at all. So let's go Control Z, we'll go out of there and go back into surface. And I'm going to kind of show you the ones that I've been playing with. And I've been using the noise plug. So that's already active. Click edit, and that'll open this up here. So I've noticed a lot of them. I think the spiral, the spheres, the turbulence, the Voronoi, and the tiles all have 3D aspects to them there. And I haven't played, a lot of the ones up top don't really have it. I think the granite will. But a lot of different options that you can go in here and play with. So let's open up another one. Let's do, say, like the grid. And we'll turn this around here and click OK. Open up our geometry and click Alt. Hold down Alt. Click Add. And it'll generate our mesh. Some meshes take a little bit longer to process. For some reason this one takes a little while, but the result is kind of cool. You can make a nice little kind of grid-like pattern or structure underneath like the surface of something, and then you get this resultant mesh. Now what I did with like these here, let me just solo this here, turn off dynamic. What I did was I polished things down, and then I ran Z-remesher. Usually I did about 20,000 polygons to start with to get a nice clean topology afterwards, and you can see what you can get. So there's a little more process to it. You have to clean things up a little bit afterwards, but it's pretty cool. So let's go back to this one here. So let's play around. Let's Control Z back out here. Let's go ahead and find. Let's go into a different one here. I'm going to open up. I'm going to do stacked stone. Okay, so this is the stacked stone. But what we're going to do here is, since it's a 3D material, we're going to do move topological, and I'm going to move this guy around a bit. So we're just going to make some abstract shapes. And as you can see, it doesn't stretch when I pull something out. It, like I said, it's all, that texture is living in 3D space. So you're just moving the model around into that 3D texture. And you can just move it around, make whatever shapes you want. So let's go ahead and clip the bottom here. So it looks like a little rock pile on the ground. And I'm just updating the Dynamesh there. We'll zoom in here, and we can go back in. We can edit more things to it here. These come into effect down here. All these little dials or whatever, and you can move the texture around, change the offset. You can change the angle till you see something you like. You can even squeeze it in one direction. You can see how it's compressing in the X direction. Now I can compress to the Y direction. So I'm going to raise these back up here. Okay. So let's just go with that for now. And let's go back to geometry. Let's go ahead, find our Dynamesh. Hold down Alt, click Add. And just wait for it to process. Alright, that one took a little bit longer to compute, but still came out alright there. But the neat thing about this is it's a bunch of individual meshes in here. So what you can do, obviously we've got some that are a little not so good. We can do a quick polish on it. And that's going to kind of suck it in a little bit, which is fine. So this way I can actually lower the resolution on the Dynamesh. I could do 256 now, because I wanted to do a polish real quick to kind of separate things, so this way they don't try to weld back together. So now I should be able to, yep, alright, brought the resolution down and make it easier to Z-remesh it there. So let's go ahead, and what you want to do, I would close any holes. Sometimes there's holes that are generated with this. Fix the mesh. And then go ahead and do a Z-remesh. We're going to target 20,000 to see how that works. And let's see what happens. Alright, as you can see, we are all remeshed there. Granted, it's like 116,000 points, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. But we reduced it down a bit. But so what we could do now is go ahead, deformation, we can inflate, get them closer together. There we go. And let's do maybe just a slight polish because it's a low poly now. Go into geometry, go to polish here, change our sharp to about 10. Let's see what happens. And polish it again. Turn on dynamic. Oh, see, not too bad. So now what we could do a quick auto group on this. Do a quick auto group, and we can get rid of the ones that we don't want. So say like you want, like, let me turn on select lasso. Wish that wasn't on by default. Okay, turn off laser mouse there. We're going to hold down Alt on here, carve away some of this stuff. And then do a Control-Shift-A to reveal some of them again. So we'll have to do a little bit more, get a little more aggressive here. Control-Shift-A. It's not too bad, but you kind of get the idea there. And then we can also get rid of some of these little small bits and pieces that don't look right. Don't look like they would belong there. Oops. There we go. There we go. Get rid of these small guys here. This little lump here. And go ahead, delete hidden. There we go. Now if you wanted, you could, well, let's go ahead and get rid of him. Get rid of these guys. They don't look right. So yeah, you're gonna get some, you're gonna have to do a little bit of cleanup here, but this is kind of cool though. You can make a quick stack of rocks, or you can even kind of turn your character into a rock monster. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, the possibilities are kind of limitless here. It's pretty cool. And all you just need is just a solid mesh to start with, and then there you go. You can, you know, you can even make like a rock, you know, a stone building or something like that, and then cut out pieces of it that you don't want. So kind of cool. And of course with this, you can always go back in and add a new noise to it. Now you could add the rocks again, but we're going to add our traditional one here. We're going to add a traditional noise. Go into Lightbox here, and we'll just do noise. We'll do noise 15. Ooh, yeah, that looks good. Comma there. And we can go in and we can edit that however we want. Scale it up, scale it down, whatever you want. We can kind of cool. Now you got a big old pile of rocks there that took literally no time for you to create. So pretty cool aspect here. So let's go ahead. Like I said, I got a bunch in here. Let's go noise plug. Nope, not noise plug. So noise maker. I'm gonna go up real quick, all the way up top. Go to my folder here, if I can find it. Desktop. And surface noise. And you can see all the noises in here that you can explore. I got quite a few in here, some that I haven't even shown. So definitely play with them. There's a lot of different little things you can do with them. So let's go ahead and explore that other trick I was going to show you. Let's change this back to white. There we go. So back to a regular polygon, make Polymesh 3D, divide. Nope, we don't want to divide this one up. This one we don't need Dynamesh. So I'm gonna go ahead and clip the caps off here. Doop, doop, doop. Delete hidden, double it, okay. Let's go to surface, noise. Let's open that up, go to Greeble. Now this one's different than all these other ones. It's not really a 3D noise, so we're going to do a little different trick here. So this is what it's going to look like. Click OK. We're going to go ahead and dynamic. There we go. Crease the borders there real quick. And you can take a quick look at what it's going to look like. Subtool, turn on the color here, frame them up, do a quick render for you. So as you can see, that all it's doing, it's cutting everything out nice and neat, but it doesn't have any sort of back-facing geometry. So it's just one-sided, which took me forever to finally figure out how to make it work. So what I did is kind of an interesting process here. So what we need to do is create a duplicate. Okay, we're in solo, so I'm only seeing one here. I'm gonna apply the dynamic, and then I'm gonna do convert BPR to Geo, and it's actually gonna create actual geometry for us. Okay. And what I want to do is go back to the first one, and what I want to do is go under surface here, edit it, and I'm going to change the strength to 0. Okay, so now it won't protrude out. Alright, so I'm going to turn polyfill on, turn the lines off. So I'm going to turn off solo here so we can see what's going to happen. So what I want to do is do a quick deformation, and I'm going to do a negative inflate, and I'm just watching to see if I go into my model here to make sure I am past all that projection, all that displacement. And it kind of looks like I am in most places. And if you watched my video a couple years ago on solidify your greeble, it's a similar process to that. So I'm just going to bring it in a little bit more. Okay. All right, I'm content with that. So we're going to go to surface, or actually just click apply. And then convert BPR to Geo. Okay. So the cool thing about the way we're doing this here, it's exactly the same vertices on both models. So both of these guys have the same amount of vertex points and they're in the same position, except this outer one is projected out. You know, it's displaced outwards. So what I'm going to do with this outward one here is I'm going to export it out. So I'm just going to drop it on my desktop. Just going to call it morph. Click save. All right, got him all saved off there. Let's go back to our first one here. Go back to the first one. There we go. Turn on solo here. I'm going to turn off polyfill. And what you want to do is go down to morph target, store. Okay, now import that morph. Give it a second. Okay, now all you have to do is create morph difference. And if you look up here in your shelf, you've got a morph difference, and boom. And there you go. And if we go to the subtool and turn on the poly paint, there you go. It retained all the poly paint information. Pretty cool little trick there. Took me quite a while to figure that out. It works well with kind of simple shapes, so don't get too many extra extrusions and stuff like that, and keep it low poly as much as possible. But you can decimate this down and throw that in your background. You know, if you decimate it, just under Decimation Master, use a Keep Poly Paint, and then you can decimate it down to 1,000,000 polygons as opposed to 11.5 million points. You could definitely decimate it down and get a little more use out of it there. So, but that is about it for today, guys. I really wanted to touch base on these guys here, showing off that there's a lot more possibilities with ZBrush and kind of cool little things that you can work with and come and help create your designs or whatever, or create something abstract or whatever. So definitely explore it. All the ones that I have over on Gumroad for you, explore them. Go in, change the settings and stuff like that, and see what you come up with, and let me know. So, but like I said, that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe and like. It definitely helps get this video out to other people. And I appreciate all your support. And we will catch you on the next video. You guys have a great day.